You're watching Rogers TV.
Welcome to this edition of Dufferin Life. I'm your host, Teena Avery. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have a regular. This gentleman is a regular on my show, and I love having him on my show, and we could probably talk for hours. We're going to do offshoot shows. Joining me today, David Nairn, Artistic Director from Theatre Orangeville. David, thanks for popping on the show.
Hello, Teena. How are you? It's always so delightful to sit on this couch with you.
Well, I truly do enjoy having you here, and I'm not making it up. I'm not just saying that because he's here. I really do. And this is kind of become a tradition for the show, is for you to come on at the beginning of Theatre Orangeville's season to tell us all about what's happening.
We're just about to get started. First show is, we're just about to go into rehearsals for the first show. And that's always exciting. It's always exciting to start a new theater season.
I know, and I have not a total inside scoop. I mean, I know the shows, you may have seen it, but you know, we're going to talk about those right now.
Yeah.
So let's start with the main stage production #1 that's happening very soon.
The first show that we're doing is a wonderful, wonderful, I don't know whether to call it a musical or not. It's kind of sort of like a Kaylee, and it's kind of, it's really raucous and a lot of fun. It's about two crazy fishermen in Newfoundland who decide that they want to check out the magic properties and powers of icebergs.
Oh.
And so I don't want to. Yeah, it's very funny. There's there's our two fishermen. There's a guitarist who's on stage, plays other instruments, and there's sort of very, kind of a Stan Rogers kind of feel for the music. It's very eyes the by and all that kind of stuff. So audiences are, and it's very, very funny.
All right.
Great music, our original music, and audiences are going to be singing along despite it. So it's just a fun way to start the season.
So who wrote this one?
It's written by Chris Raitt.
Okay.
Chris wrote the music, and Janine Brown, and they live down near the Simcoe area. Okay. Down on Lake Erie, and so it's got a real kind of Celtic. Anybody who loves that kind of Celtic Newfoundland. I mean, what's not to love about Newfoundlanders?
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, they are the salt of the earth, or the ocean, as the case may be.
Yes.
And so that's going to be super fun. I'm really excited. We wanted to do that show for a couple of years. We've got a great cast. Stephen Sparks, who Sparky's been on our stage many, many, many times.
Yes.
So Sparky's coming to do it, and Sweeney MacArthur, who is brand new to us, but has been in Charlottetown and all kinds of great stuff. So it's kind of got this really not come from away kind of vibe, but it's just.
I was just about to say that it sounds almost like a come from away. Yeah.
It's Newfoundland, so I mean it's got that feel. The music is very stomping along. So the audience is going to have a wonderful time. It's going to be great.
Well, anything Newfoundland bound, like anything related to, is just that warm, happy, fuzzy feeling like you're sitting in the kitchen.
That's kind of the feeling of the show. Yeah. I mean, in this instance, they're not sitting in a kitchen. They're sitting in a very specific place that the audience, I think, is also going to really enjoy. But it's got that kitchen Kaylee feel to the show. So it's, I think that's the best way to describe it, actually, is that kind of kitchen party kind of feel. So, we're going to have a bit of a Newfoundland kitchen party.
So there you go. Yeah. Fun for all ages. Absolutely.
Terrific.
Absolutely. So that's main stage #1.
Yeah.
And where are we going with main stage #2?
Well,
I'm so excited.
Then we get into the world of Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, yes.
A Fairy's Tale. And so Debbie Collins, who Debbie and I co-wrote Cinderella that we did last year, and so we immediately we closed that, and of course Ryan was a big part of that. Ryan was a big part of that. Ryan Avery, brilliant guitarist. Nick Mustafa, we're the band and all that kind of stuff. So we're bringing together a band, and it's going to be the same. Debbie actually guaranteed the audience there would be 30% more shenanigans than there were last year.
30%.
30%, that's a lot. So we've been working on that all summer. Well, we actually started before the summer, but we've been working on it. We've had a couple of workshops. We've brought the cast together a couple of times just to kind of, work through some of the stuff. But it's got all the zany stuff. You're all going to be boo for the villain and yay when Sleeping Beauty comes on, and all of that kind of tradition.
I am
that we set last year.
So uber excited for this, I can't even tell you. Last year's show, now it's a panto, so we're going to talk about what that is, just in case people who are watching didn't catch the show last time.
Because we still have to explain that.
But oh my goodness, I went with a tribe of my friends, and I got to watch my son, which is always exciting to watch him play, but just having it all together. And then when I seen the lineup for this year, I was like, yes, another panto. So tell me, what is it?
I think it's going to become a tradition for quite some time. Audiences absolutely love it. And it's great because it kind of works on two levels. Like there's nothing. It's for the whole family. Like it's completely suitable for 8 to 80. There's no, there's none of that kind of stuff. But there's some political humor. We kind of take maybe on some of the local politicians. Maybe people like Todd Taylor or whoever.
Right.
Or Mayor Post. We kind of have some fun, and it's all in good fun. It's all in good spirit. And it's just, if there's something happening in the news that day locally or even whatever, if there was an election or something like that, we would be able to incorporate that into the show.
Nice.
And the audience, of course, we speak to them. Sometimes we get them up on stage, and they boo and cheer and yell and sing along. And a lot of the music is stuff that people know, or they might know the chorus of it or something like that. Funny enough, there was a gentleman who came to see Cinderella last year. And afterwards, he's a regular guy at the theater, and he said, I was so surprised. He said, I was amazed that they spoke. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, I thought it was a mime show.
Oh, like pantomime. Oh, my goodness,
mime, like nobody speaks, right? Like mime artists. And I kind of went, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's called a pantomime. Why would it not be? So we've still kind of, this is only the second time we've ever done it, so we're still kind of, audiences out there in Rogers Lane.
Well, I mean, it's so much fun.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much fun because as an audience participant, like you get to participate. So you're told the prompts, and you're told, who are you boo for, who do you cheer for, what sayings you say when someone does this, and and it's so fun. And the crowd, just the energy from the crowd, just from the audience, it's just phenomenal. And of course, as always, the actors feed off the audience feed off the actors, and then now it's
very much it's interactive. I think and that doesn't mean that anybody that everybody has to get up on stage.
Oh,
it's just that very seldom do we go into the theater and have an opportunity to yell, scream, laugh at the top of our lungs for the villain or for the hero or any of that. And of course, it's great fun because Debbie and I, what we want to do is they're kind of fractured fairy tales. So it's not quite the traditional Sleeping Beauty. We kind of turn it a bit on its head. So it's very much Sleeping Beauty's story, but there's a couple of fairies who have been looking after her in the woods and all that kind of stuff to protect her from the evil fairy.
Well, I was going to say, I didn't get my call to come audition to be Sleeping Beauty, David.
Well, I'm just saying. Did you change your email address or something? Because I don't know, maybe it came here to the station. Or,
maybe. Or maybe it's the fact that I'm not really an actor, so that would probably make it a lot more difficult to deal with.
Well, And so great cast. We've got a couple of familiar faces from last year, some new faces, and it's just going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. I don't think when we had performances of Cinderella where I have never heard that volume from an audience, like that sound, that sheer wall of sound of laughter and singing along. People were literally up dancing in the aisles, and what a great way for the holiday season for it's just pure fun. It's pure fun from one end to the other. For like 2 hours, you're going to come out, your face is going to hurt just from smiling and laughing and all that kind of stuff.
And that's what we count on, for sure. I mean, you always leave Theatre Orangeville with a big smile on your face, but that whole, it's a different atmosphere to be in a show like that, especially if you've never been to one. That was my first one last year. Cinderella was my first one, and I was like, this is amazing.
Well, and we did, so I kind of was doing a little bit of a straw poll, after the show, as people were sort of leaving. I'd say, so, did you have fun? And they go, oh. And I'd say, well, we're going to do one next year. And they go, oh, do Jack and the Beanstalk, do Peter Pan, everybody was going to do Hansel and Gretel. I'm going, great. I'm going to shove 2 kids in an oven or whatever, bake them like cookies. So, it's, but it allows us to kind of take, but people they would email me saying, oh, you better think about Jack and the Beanstalk, or Rapunzel. Got amazing stuff about Rapunzel. Going, great, we got to have like 100 feet. You could have played Rapunzel.
I could have hidden in the tower and not really come down.
Well, just, let down that gorgeous long hair.
Yeah, just let my long hair.
There, you see. So that was a lot of fun. And when you get audience going, oh, you got to do Rapunzel. Or if you don't do Jack and the Beanstalk, well, I guess we'll get to those ones eventually. But,
yeah, absolutely. Well, Sleeping Beauty is a good start. Like I said, I'm uber excited. All the information's at www.theatreorangeville.ca. We're going to keep talking about more shows, but I'm just letting you know so you can kind of add that into your system if you don't already have it.
Yeah, because people can go there and get all the specifics of subscriptions and show times and dates and all that kind of stuff, because it's,
Okay, so we've got show number 1. Show number 2 happens right before Christmas.
Right.
We're going to come into the new year for the main stage at number 3.
And then we're going back to Newfoundland.
Oh, okay.
I know, it's kind of like we've got a Newfoundland thing going on. So it's a wonderful show written by Barb Scheffler, who grew up in the Huckley Valley. Anne-Marie Scheffler, if you remember, we did one of her sister is not a stand-up, is a comedic performer, but Barb's written a number of shows, and this is her latest play, and it's the story of 4 women who live in Toronto, who one of them undergoes a bit of a change of lifestyle. They're women in their 50s, I don't know. Anyway, one of them goes through a bit of a crisis of relationship and all that kind of stuff. And so the 4 of them decide to go on a road trip. One of them is from Newfoundland. And so these 4 women pile into a car and they head down the 401 towards Newfoundland.
Okay.
And so it's all the kind of foibles of putting 4 women together in a car, and all the stories, the fun, the cattiness, of 4 friends who really want to make sure that they're the 3, and to make sure that the 4th one is okay. And so they're going to go. So it's just kind of all those adventures that they, like when they stop at the Big Apple. We've all stopped at the Big Apple on the 401, right? And so audiences are going to recognize a lot of that kind of thing. And it's also, when you put 4 women together, you just get nothing but great stories. Great laughs,
absolutely,
and a lot of bit of cattiness and all that kind of stuff. But that's a bit of gossip,
a little bit of cheese,
about what's happening in their condo and all that kind of stuff. But again, and it's framed against that sort of Newfoundland sense of fun and it's a lovely story of 4 friends. It's a road movie.
Okay.
That's what it is. Who the 4 of them decide to go off on that. 4 they're very different. 4 very different women who are friends, but as we all are. But who just pile into the car and head off down the road.
I think I would love to do that. I would love to just hop in the car with, because I have, you have your eclectic friends and you have your goofy friends and you just put all of us in one vehicle and then with me driving.
It's sort of like Thelma and Louise with a happy ending.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, no, but and because we all do that, but so Barb's really captured the spirit of who these women are and what that friendship is, and like most of life, you get through it with laughter, not just tears, right? And so
yes.
And
laughter is what helps you get through the tears. So don't you go anywhere, because David is going to stay. We're going to talk about the next couple shows, a few other things that are happening at the theater. So we'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Are you a passionate content creator ready to expand your audience reach? Do you have unique stories, captivating hobbies, or special interests that deserve a spotlight? Rogers TV is here to amplify your voice within the community. We offer you the platform to broadcast your content to a wider audience. And the best part, it's completely free. Don't miss this opportunity to share your vision and engage with viewers. Find out how Rogers TV can transform your content journey today.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Dufferin Life. If you're just joining us, well, you tuned in at a great time. You're going to get the second half of David Nairn telling us about what's happening at Theatre Orangeville. So, David, we stopped at...
Wait a minute, the second
The
half?
second half. The second half of the show, David.
Okay, I get it.
The second half of the show, and you're still here.
I'm still here. You haven't
I
kicked
just
me
can't
off the
get rid of
couch
you,
yet.
yeah.
Well, it's a very comfy couch.
It is.
You have this is the comfiest couch in Orangeville.
Yeah, I think I love it. So I come here all the time.
It's so beautiful. What you've done to the place is just beautiful, Teena. These, I mean, it's exquisite what you've done.
I know.
It's
I
really
have
lovely.
amazing taste. Anyways, before we waste too much time talking about me, let's continue to talk about
It's
what's
always about
happening.
you.
It's always about me. I love
it
having
should
you on
be,
the show,
and so it should
be.
be.
Yes.
And so it darn well should be.
Absolutely. But right now we're going to talk about Theatre Orangeville and your new season.
Yeah,
so
we talked about
the first three.
Iceberg.
Yep.
We talked about Sleeping Beauty. We talked about the Beaver Club that's
Yep.
happening sort of like late January into February.
Yep.
And it's going to be the perfect cure for like those kind of like late January, February sort of blues. Come out and have a great laugh.
Yeah.
When it's like, February.
And then after we laugh, what are we doing then?
Then we're going to kind of continue with that. It's
Okay.
it's a really joy-filled season.
Yay.
You know,
Okay.
I think it's that kind of time. It feels sort of in the world that we all really need a good laugh. We really need to just
Let
just go to
go
the
and
theater
have fun.
and have fun
Yeah.
and have a lovely time. And I mean, there will be a tear or two along the way, but maybe pull your heartstrings a bit. But overall, it's going to be just tears of joy and laughter. The fourth show of the season is a play that I've wanted to do for quite some time. This is not the premiere production of it. It's called Bed and Breakfast. It's written by Mark Crawford.
Okay.
Mark, of course, New Canadian Curling Club, Stag and Doe. I mean, we've done this will maybe I think be the fifth play of Mark's.
Right.
The Birds and the Bees.
Always funny. Yeah.
Always super funny. Mark really. His brother Rex is a vet here in our community. I don't know if you know
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
He has a brother who, is here in the community. So he knows, he certainly knows Orangeville really, really well. And he really captures that. He really knows who we are.
Yes.
Like smaller community. He's from a rural community over near Clinton himself. So he really understands what our kind of, what that kind of mindset is in communities like ours. And he's really able to capture it. It's a lovely story of two fellows who, one inherits a house in a small town, perhaps not unlike Orangeville or, the area, comes to the community with that downtown Toronto mentality. Right, we're going to fix it up, we're going to sell it, and let's get back to the big city. And slowly start to discover what we've discovered, those of us who are transplants from Toronto or a bigger center, who come up here to Dufferin County and Orangeville and but Dufferin, and discover what it is that's pretty magical here, and start to develop an affinity for the community. And then, of course, that leads to all kinds of change. Adrian Shepherd is one of the actors in that. Adrian has been in a number of things. He was in Queen Millie of Galt. He was in Screwball Comedy. He's a wonderful, wonderful actor, as is Warren. And the two of them play, probably between the two of them, 50 characters.
Wow.
They play the entire town, just these two actors who take on all the roles. The prying gossip lady who lives next door, the verbose mayor, so all kinds of these wonderful characters. So it's a real tour de force for the actors. And the audiences are just going to be thrilled with it. It's I mean, as I say, it's a tour de force. It's, you won't get confused as to who's who. It's quite clear. But I think it's that Mark has that ability to really, as I said, to really understand who we are in a community like this. So I think, or in fact I know, that people are going to come to the show and go, I know them. that might be me. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm that kind of person. Or, you know, I'm that kind of politician.
Right.
Beware Todd Taylor. You know,
It's pick on Todd night.
no, come on, Todd's the best. So, you know, so it really, I think it's fun, it's super uplifting, but it's about that thing of coming from the big city with that big city whatever attitude, and then very quickly discovering that that's not really what life is all about.
Right.
I mean, once you start to experience Dufferin.
Yes.
Think of it in those terms.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
And then the last show of the season is a brand new world premiere by Norm Foster called I'm in Love with Your Sister.
Oh my goodness.
So you can imagine just from the title alone, it's a little bit naughty inside. It's never, and again, you know, it's not like R-rated, but it's about a young lad, a young fella, who kind of can't make up his mind. And so that's kind of where it goes. It goes from there. Norm has been so prolific during the pandemic. You know, and when theaters were, you know, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, he was writing like crazy, and he sent me this play about 2 years ago. And I read the first draft, and I really, really loved it, and he did some more work on it. And so it's always a privilege to be able to do a premiere of a brand new work. So Dufferin and Orangeville audiences are going to be the very first anywhere in the world to see this new Norm Foster play.
I love that, yeah.
Which is always super cool. It's also perhaps might be the last play that I will direct as at Theatre Orangeville, and we'll talk about that maybe another time if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And so I'm looking forward to that. So I think it's all in all, it's going to be a season of, there's going to be a ton of laughter, there's going to be a ton of joy. I can guarantee people, not a money-back guarantee, I'm not that crazy, that you're going to come out and join us for 5 shows, and at the end of it all in May, you're going to be going, wow, what was my favorite? I love them all. Like really, everybody's going to have a great time.
Well, let's touch on that. So people who may not be aware, who've just tuned in, and I'm not sure why you haven't been watching me this whole time, but let's talk about subscriptions and how that works at Theatre Orangeville.
Yeah, you can go online. You can call Kay. You can just call Kay and talk to her at the box office if you want, or you can do it online. Of course, subscribers always have the advantage. Particularly, we have 5-play subscription. And we also have a 3-play subscription because we have a great many folks now here in Dufferin who are snowbirds, or you know, they're traveling, or you know, they're going to be away and they go, oh well, we can't see the 3rd show, but you know, so we want to kind of custom tailor that. So if they want the 1st and 2nd and the 5th, or the 1st, 4th, and 5th, or you know, we custom that. For people to make that kind of commitment, to kind of invest, as it were, in the company, you know, to give us that support, to subscribe to the 5-play series is always, I think, the best way to go. And that way you don't miss a minute of what's going on at the theater. Yeah. Right? So, you know, the subscriptions are on sale now, so people can go online, or they can call the box office and they can line that up, and then you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. And what we're doing really too is we're partnering a lot. We partner all the time with local restaurants. So, you know, come on out. Why not? We have a number of subscribers who, you know, they buy 2 sets of subscriptions. And what they do is, so they come and see all 5 shows, but what they do is couples that they maybe only see once or twice a year, well, dear friends of ours, they buy 2, and so they have friends like in Burlington and some in Oshawa, so they come up once a year and they'll go to a local restaurant. You know, they'll go to the Bluebird, or they'll go to Rustic or Greystones, or you know, they go to 5 different restaurants over the course of the
and making it an experience,
making it a date night, and they're supporting local businesses, local restaurants, local bars, local eateries and things like that. And it's an opportunity for friends to come from Whitby, or you know, wherever it is, and experience all the great things of Dufferin-Caledon and of Orangeville, and our world-class restaurants and world-class theater, and just how wonderful this community is. And a lot of them come up, they make a weekend of it. You know, they'll go up to the museum, they'll go to, you know, they'll
many
really
things to do around here.
Absolutely. You know, Teena, I've said this a million times. There is no community in the country that rivals Dufferin County.
I agree.
When it comes to creativity, writers, dancers, weavers, potters, sculptors, entrepreneurs, hockey players, all of that. Sometimes when I talk about the arts, people think of like painting on a wall or a play, but I mean that whole cultural vibe and cultural vibrancy of this community. There is nothing like it in the country, and we go from one end to the other with theater conferences and talking to other theaters, and they always say, like I talk to like Stratford Festival or Neptune Theatre in Halifax, and they go, first they always say, where is Dufferin County? And we go,
Right.
well, we're not going to tell you maybe so much. But, and then they go, how do you get this kind of incredible synergy that's happening, right, in the community? How can there be Museum of Dufferin? How can there be Theatre Orangeville? How can there be the Alton Mill? All of these incredible opportunities, and so many vibrant, creative people. And it's like a magnet. It attracts.
It does,
that kind of entrepreneurial spirit, right, of people who want to come and live here.
Yes.
I'm always thrilled when Headwaters Hospital, and because they have a great success rate of attracting physicians and nursing to the medical practitioners to this community.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they do is if there's somebody they hope will come on, they bring them to the theater to show them just what all the aspects of life are here in Dufferin.
Yeah, I
So
know. We're
that's
incredibly
really cool.
lucky.
There's,
We are.
as I
Like,
say, there's just nowhere like it. I mean, there's like amazing pockets like Salt Spring Island, and but sort of I think on a per capita basis, there's more artists, artisans, creators, writers, actors, movie makers, restaurateurs, because it's not just that. Culture is part and parcel of the whole package, right?
Yeah.
And so, and Theatre Orangeville is, we're kind of the linchpin, I guess, of the performing arts community.
Yes.
But then you get somebody, like a partner like Booklore, that our Authors on Stage series that's happening this fall again, and people should check that out because we have amazing authors coming to. Thanks to Nancy Frater at Booklore, so when we're working with those, with partners like that, I mean, there isn't a bookstore. There isn't a bookstore like Booklore anywhere that I know.
No,
of.
I know.
Like nowhere.
I agree.
Right? And
yeah.
so when you get that kind of creative spirit, like what Nancy's done, or Joan Hope at Dragonfly, or what's happening at Greystones, and in the community, amazing restaurants and things up in Shelburne. I love what's going up in Shelburne.
Yeah, I mean, that's growing rapidly.
It's so
it's
fantastic.
changing so quickly, yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic. There's like the best fishmonger like in the world is on the main street in Shelburne. It's so the whole community, all of Dufferin is really, and it's such a great foodie destination, right? That In the Hills piece that we all follow about that's astonishing, right? So why here? What's so crazy about Dufferin? It's like a magnet for all of that, and people are discovering it. But don't all you come up here because,
Well, not all at once, but please don't come up here. Yes.
Oh, come up and visit. Yeah, no, of course.
Absolutely.
So that's an amazing thing, right? And we're so thrilled and happy that Theatre Orangeville to be a part of that. To be because it is it's like the blues and jazz, or these are a major attractions, not just entertainment, but that really speak to the community. Celebrate Your Awesome. I would defy anybody to show me another community of the size of what Dufferin is that has a pride event like Celebrate Your Awesome.
You're absolutely right. David has touched on everything about how wonderful this community is and about the new season, so you need to go check it out. David, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thanks so much.
And thank you for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye for now.
I love that kiss. Bye-bye. It's my favorite thing.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
In para hockey, the ice tilts in favor of men. But that will never stop us.
United by passion, battling for equity. We are the National Women's Para Hockey Team of Canada.